and there's measures of dispersion. So just to get this wording out of the way, so the ones that are grayed out here, they are usually distributions that we're never going to have access to, because we'd have to have either access to all the 17 million people in our population, or here have access to 25 different samples coming from the same population. These are things we never usually see. The two distributions we do usually see are the sample distribution, which is the thing that's going to allow you to compare the height of people within that sample. So that's like based off of a standard deviation, right? So the standard deviation is the number, or the distance between the average and the first bar. And for the sampling distribution, we have a thing that's exactly the same as a standard deviation, but we call it a different name. We call it a standard error. And the standard error is nothing but the distance between the average here, or the point estimate of this, there's nothing but the difference between the point estimate of this sampling distribution and the first bar of this distribution, or the lowest bar, because, you know, it's symmetrical. So these are what we call measures of dispersion. Okay, so these are the two measures of dispersion that you need to know. Okay, the population distribution, if we had access to it, we would measure that in a standard deviation, right? But we'll never have access to that because we can never ask 17 million people. Well, sometimes maybe we might be able to one day, or maybe someone was crazy enough to do it, but we usually don't. And the ideal sampling distribution also respects a standard error, although we usually don't really have access to that. So the only two things that you're talking about in SMCR is a sample distribution, which is the actual distribution of numbers within the sample, and a sampling distribution, which they're going to call the sampling distribution. And I'm differentiating between the derived and an ideal sampling distribution, the derived being usually the term that they use to refer to a sampling distribution. Okay.